Good morning, Zambia, and welcome to today's breakfast show, EMV breakfast show on Sunday. And thank you for joining us, even if it's Sunday. Our YouTube link is blocked. We are fighting very big forces. There's a force that doesn't want international news to go out there. And I was scanning the international media. It's like the petition by Brian Mundubile has been blacked out in South African media. And only the election of President Hakainde Hichilema is reigning. Lucky enough, there's 2 international pieces that have been published in the New York Times. Get a copy, go to New York Times. At least it's providing wide coverage. First, the mass irregularities that occurred, and the second piece that was just published yesterday is also talking about how President Hakainde Hichilema has benefited from a rigging process. Those are very good articles. You rarely find such damning allegation in a very serious newspaper like the New York Times. But in South Africa, they are trying to dampen the media. I was watching Canada similar. My YouTube channel was blocked yesterday, but it's under review, and I hope we can come back tomorrow. We remain undeterred. That is why it's for this reason that we ask you to share this broadcast. We reach as many people as possible. While you think it's just another channel, everyone is taking us very seriously. That is why they are attempting to black us out. So kindly share the channel as we discuss the various issues. Today's newspaper, the breakfast show, is primarily about what the newspapers are saying, but we brief you of the things you can get in Zambia. We are giving you an update on the election petition. The day comes up tomorrow as the last day. Will the opposition manage to file the electoral petition? Brian Mundubile, who asserts that he won this election, and it's just not his opinion, it's an opinion of many observers. I've just cited to you a very credible story in the New York Times here that has published 2 good articles on Zambia. And what the EU Observer Mission report stated, SADC Observer Mission stated, what the African Union Observer Mission stated, and we need to do the write-ups, the follow-up write-ups ourselves to these institutions. They expose the mass irregularity, especially those 32 seats where they inflated President Hakainde Hichilema's vote, amounting to rigging. You can't have a 30% turnout, then you balloon the vote that the president got up to 70-80% turnout. They forgot that, they forgot clearly that observer missions were everywhere. They forgot that Gen 20 was being issued. So they've come up with a big lie that Brian Mundubile employed teachers. Hichilema has 40,000 teachers across the country, and they generated force Gen 20. Anyway, force Gen 20 mumwalesa inaba ECZ my election yenu mwalitamfya na abantu ebo mwashitire employ. You removed them. You put your own list at the last minute. You removed the 40,000 that were employed in the process, and you put your own people from your own region. Basa inama Gen 20 mwaibati ya fake. Yangu tatu. You can only get these facts here. So share the broadcast quickly. Share the broadcast. We reach as many people as possible. Wonse mulentu mina wamwamba ushabale faidinga ushechirishani insaka nipano. Come on, let's share the broadcast so that we discuss all these facts together. Number 2, the update on Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya. Number 3, President Hakainde Hichilema set 1st September for inauguration. That's why he doesn't want this noise. He wants to swat this noise regarding election petition, because they've gone in overdrive in preparing for the inauguration that takes place on 1st September 2026. So we'll be giving you the update. But please do share, especially that, our YouTube link is disconnected for today until we hope to resolve. There's a weekend in between. I hope that on Monday I'll call colleagues. I have been privileged that I know people at Facebook office and YouTube office. So I will reach them, and my page will be, my YouTube link will be reinstated. If we are propagandists, if we are just lying, you cannot switch us off. you can't deplatform us. You can do that in Zambia, not here. The Lord placed me here at such a time as this. So share the broadcast quickly.
Many of us in this region proud that you still have a judiciary and armed members of the judiciary that are able to do what is right for their people. We must be proud of that. We understand they went through temptations, a lot of temptations, and they withstood these temptations. Money, other things we hear were thrown at them. But they understood why they are on the Constitutional Court. Because judiciary, the courts must be the place of last recourse, where we go to seek justice. Injustices are done every day in our elections. We know it here in Zambia. 2015, 2016, we know it. But in 2016, our matter was not even heard. Yet the Bill of Rights is clear that if a citizen is aggrieved about anything, they have a right to go to court. And any court of competent jurisdiction has an obligation to hear them. It didn't happen in this country. It has happened in Malawi. We're so proud of that Malawi Constitutional Court bench. I hope we can all learn something from that ruling, that you cannot continue cheating the people, the very people that gave you an opportunity to save them, especially in those roles. So congratulations to the opposition in Malawi, and one other thing we learned from Malawi is that they came together. The opposition came together. Here we have some oppositions that are surrogates of the ruling party who are used to abuse fellow opposition. But there, Dr. Chakwera, Dr. Silas Chidima, and others came together for a joint petition to save the people of Malawi. It's another lesson that we Zambians must learn. But more important, it's a Malawian citizen, the Malawian voter, who did not allow their vote to be manipulated. When their vote was manipulated, they showed it. They went in the streets to express their displeasure on how somebody had stolen their votes. Citizen, the Malawian voter, who did not allow their vote to be manipulated. When their vote was manipulated, they showed it. They went in the streets to express their displeasure on how somebody had stolen their votes. They did it for months on end. It encouraged the judiciary. So you can see the point here. The battle, the fight must be fought from different angles. And the citizens have...
There we are. Thank you very much. The Sunday Times, state-owned newspaper, is leading with no new COVID variant. And it's talking about COVID and that there's no new COVID variant. There's been an outbreak of terrible flu, and they're stating that there's no variant whatsoever. Let me just see if I can read in detail that story. Is quoting Dr. Roma Chilengi. Remember, Dr. Roma Chilengi was appointed as Zambia National Public Health Institute, and he has dismissed the claims that there's a new mutated and more virulent COVID-19 variant in the country, saying the current surge in respiratory symptoms is linked to influenza B outbreak. He says there's a secondary outbreak called influenza B outbreak. So the flu, there's a raging flu happening in Lusaka. It's crippling you sometimes up to 2 weeks. He says it's not a new COVID variant. He says there's a flu outbreak, influenza B. Kabimba's congratulated HH and is questioning Tonse petition. Mwaniwesha wa Kabimbe fyo baba. There's a bishop here, Martin Sulimba, who's questioning the militia threat. Of course, he has to sing the story of government. FRA buys 33,524,000 tons of copper belt on the copper belt. We understand what's happening with FRA. They've run out of money. We know that they're no longer paying cash, and they've asked for an urgent loan from banks of up to 5 billion kwacha. Government says they've released 1.4 billion kwacha for social cash transfer. And there's an analysis on why Hichilema's re-election, the disputed election, is good. Let's go to the must. The must is leading with a story by Katele Kalumba. He's also issued a video statement. Remember, there was an earlier volatile statement that he issued against President Hakainde Hichilema to make him stop the arbitrary arrest, the intimidation of citizens, and what he had stated. That video was so volatile. Now they are saying they are planning to arrest him and accuse him of being part of the militia. So he was, him and his wife published that statement to reject the assertions that is involved in anything. He just criticized the president. Hichilema's former best friends, the Commonwealth, have rebuked him very strongly for his arbitrary arrests. And there's a story that has been carried by many people. The Commonwealth have no longer have they have a new Secretary General, so she's very, very strong, and she rebuked the president. She's Shirley Bochwe. Just a minute on Shirley Bochwe. I tell you a little bit about herself. Yeah, so she's a Secretary General of the Commonwealth, and she just assumed this office on April 1, 2025. She's the first African and second African overall to lead the 56-member organization, succeeding Patricia Scotland. She's a former Minister of Foreign Affairs in Ghana, and she has issued a very strong rebuke against the president for his arbitrary arrest and for not respecting the electoral process. They are bemoaning the demise of Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya. And TIZ is celebrating the removal of the illegal Auditor General who's been eating free money since 2022. Empower Youths Now, Zihe says there's some titillating story from the courts. Those stories are from the courts. I think we will not mention them on air. Children could be watching. The Sunday Nation, the Daily Nation, has a Sunday paper called the Sunday. They're also quoting the Secretary General that first stop arbitrary arrest and free all political detainees, everyone that you've arrested in the last 30 days. They are political detainees, release them. And Binwo Mpundo has dismissed the assertion of propaganda and is stating that it doesn't matter how many times you repeat it, even if it comes from the mouth of the president, it will not make it true that there's a militia. That's Binwo Mpundo there. News diggers, I've got a story of news diggers. They're also leading with the Commonwealth. Yeah, News Diggers is leading with the Commonwealth, and they've expressed concern around the killing of Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya by the state. And for the first time, News Diggers is introducing that there was a cop that was injured in the shootout. They want to make the shootout a real that there was an exchange of fire. Afuma kwisa kapokola takwali wa police, it was a Zambia army. Ubu fibumbi ubu, you have to watch it. Elo mwicheno mtu wawe, you parade him that mwadi mchena from a shootout, because you are now creating a fake narrative that there was an exchange of fire, and now a cop was injured. Maybe if you had said the soldier was injured, it would make sense, because this was a military operation by the special forces. There was no police officer. The only police officer that was there is a police officer from CID. I think he's the one that probably got a search warrant or something. We know his name, who was there. There was the gentleman from the intelligence, the one who said to also have shot the fatal shot. There are two suspects that could have shot those two. We've named both of them. So there were those two civilians, but this was a military operation. News Diggers is introducing a story that was a cop injured. Young. Our newspaper, a lot of people say, man, how do you manage? You run a newspaper, you run a broadcast, you write a lot. We want to work, we just have to do this for our country. And arbitrary arrest. By the way, my newspaper won some award for best design. Apparently, it's well designed. So my EMV newspaper and EMB Sunday is said to be one of the best newspapers in Zambia in the design. And arbitrary arrest, we are also quoting the Commonwealth. We are also restating some new facts around Mundubile's refuge at the United Nations. And after his colleagues were charged with treason, the 11 were charged with history. That's what the paper say. I got this printout from oh, there are so many people calling us. Something happened. Let's hear. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Hello? Yes.
Good morning, Ambassador.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Mr. Banda calling from Zambia, Nyukasama area.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Banda.
Yes.
Okay, they're just here to disrupt our thoughts. To our dear callers, we know you make this program, but just kindly allow us to finish our thoughts. Just kindly allow us to finish our thoughts. That way, your contribution will be better. That way, your contribution will be more valuable because you'll have gotten an update of what's happening. If you call now, you'll be giving opinions. We know that you are valuable in this program. Let's go into the show. Let's go into the show and discuss the various issues. Let's just go into the show and discuss the issues. We are discussing 3 items. Election petition. Is it feasible? Will it be filed by tomorrow? With the concerted effort by the state to stop this process. Number 2, we'll do an update on Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya. Number 3, we'll tell you about plans for the inauguration that the President Hakainde Hichilema Cabinet Office are preparing for 1st September 2026. I'm interrupted by many calls, but I'm persuaded to take this call for its significance. Let me see if he's the person I think it is, but that's what it's writing. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good morning, Your Excellency, Mr. Mamba. This is Dr. Larry Mwetwa.
Yeah, because the call ID is writing Larry Mwetwa, Dr. Larry Mwetwa. I couldn't believe it. Especially
most of the times whenever I want to call you, you decline my call. Whenever you just see my name, you run away from my call.
Never. I don't know what I'm answering.
Together, Your Excellency, in this.
Yeah, I always answer the phone.
Zambia.
I'll even give you my personal line so that in case you want to call, you call on my line, because I allow diversity. Larry, I'm privileged that you are calling, colleagues from the other side, and if they call, sometimes it's very important to hear their version of issues. Let me give you a minute before, you speak, proceed to speak.
Okay. First and foremost, Honorable Mamba, we sympathize with the loss of life, especially that of our Honorable Katotwe. No one wants to lose a family member, a father. Just like the way we experience a lot of pain when we lost our beloved colleagues, like Mapenzi Chiburo, the way we lost Saman Saba, all those events were unfortunate. But of course, the consideration is that the security forces did what they had to do in order to preserve, peace and security of the nation. But I don't want to dwell on that matter. What I want to dwell on is on the issue of the petition. First and foremost, Mr. Mwamba, Your Excellency, the country needs unity and healing. We've experienced this pain, loss of elections 6-7 times. And we understand the pain that our colleagues are feeling. We've gone through, especially the 2015-2016. Your Excellency, the pain that you are feeling right now, we feel it. We've gone through that journey. We have not forgotten about the 14 days petition, the denial of the right to be heard. Now, my question, if we are to apply the same principles that you applied in 2015-2016, are you going to praise the courts or you are going to curse the courts? But the most important question that I want to ask yourself and the participants of this program is, if the owner of the party, NRPUP, has endorsed and accepted and congratulated the president-elect, on whose mandate, on whose authority are you going to, constitute or rather, promote the petition? It's like me. I'm a member of the party, and then let's just take a hypothetical example that suppose President Mundubile won, and then President Hakainde Hichilema decides to congratulate and say, you know what, we appreciate you won the elections. Do you think any member of the party or myself, I would go and say, no, I want to petition this person's results?
Okay.
So those are the considerations that you need to make, and you should come with substantive, information in order for the Constitutional Court to entertain the petition. Other than that, they're just going to throw it away, and you only have tomorrow. That's my submission, Your Excellency. Keep up the good work you are doing, and we sympathize with your loss. We are praying for you. We are praying for members of the NRPU to heal, and the president is encouraging everybody. Since now he's our president-elect, he's the father to everybody. He's the father to even the members of the NRPUP. And also, Mr. Mamba, the thing that I want you to actually, speak, because you have a very good audience, is to encourage your members to stop these insults that are coming from the other, members of NRPU. It shouldn't look like the loss for the elections was coming from one tribe. Mamba, let's heal those insults you are seeing that are coming from your members. Encourage them to desist. It's not that we don't know how to insult. If we want, we can also start insulting. But we've never done such. That's my submission, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Larry, and thank you for calling. I'll give you my number, so that if you want to contribute, you can call. We never fear any debate. And in case you want to call back, you can call back. You can watch through the response. Let me pay attention to you before I go in detail. That's Larry Mwetwa. For you colleagues that know, especially the blog space, for us that are social media natives, Larry Mwetwa was on the other side. He's one of those strong supporters of the UPND. I think he's currently a director at Ministry of Environment. He was in the campaign. I remember writing a post criticizing him that he shouldn't participate in elections anymore because he's a civil servant, when I was rebuking Tabo Kawana. Let's just go briefly to what he has said. He says he regrets the loss of Honorable Mtoto Kafuaya, and he says it's such a sad loss, but he brings in the politics. He says, like they felt when Mapenzi Chibulo and others died. Now, the folly with that argument is that they have never acknowledged the death of Jackson Kungo or the youths that were killed just at the eve of the elections. Danny Gift Katongo and Davis Kawunda from Kanyama. This is in 2021. Besides other dates, the president has been applying selective amnesia, where he just quotes victims of violence from the UPND and never the people that the UPND killed in the race. So, Larry, you have to consider that. If you have to remember the dead, remember all the dead. Don't remember some of the dead. Number two, he's saying, the Mundubile and others should just congratulate, accept defeat, that the pain that we are feeling, they've been there through the various losses that President Hakainde Hichilema suffered. Again, President Hakainde Hichilema was allowed to petition. In 2015, in 2016, he was allowed to petition. Why can't he allow his colleagues to petition? Why does he want to criminalize this process? Why does he want, Larry, that this is a betrayal of commitment to national peace and security if you challenge the election of the president? Why have you arrested Celestine Mukandila, who's our Secretary General, who is at the center of coordinating this election petition? Why have you arrested Judge Anne Mwewa Sitali, former Concord judge? Why have you arrested other junior lawyers that were doing this work? Why are you pursuing Jonas Zimba from Makebi and Associates, one of the good guys who's handling this election petition? None of your lawyers were pursued. We saw the free rein by Jack Mwimbu everywhere as he was, preparing to do his petition in 2015 and 2016. Why are you clamping down? Many people are saying the Supreme Court grounds have been surrounded. I'm waiting for good pictures, not the video I saw yesterday. We have to raise credibility of this platform. We want to acquire those that are going to church or anywhere. Take good pictures or video from your car safely. Hope you don't get arrested. If the Supreme Court grounds is surrounded, we can't rely on one video and we run with that fact. We give ammunition to the states to come then and debunk our assertions. So let us just be careful. So, Larry, that would be my answer. In all the grievances, the president was allowed to petition. If the judges ruled otherwise, but at least he went before court. We had hearings. We saw, even when the president said that he was never heard. Again, that's not true. Because we were glued on TV as your lawyers made preliminary matter after preliminary matter until the matter ended. Then you began to argue about the 14 days because you had exhausted the 14 days dealing with preliminary issues. So you can't say you were not heard. By the court sitting and you make your applications and the court makes determination, you've been heard. So again, you are very selective in the manner that you say the president was not heard in 2016. Even in the video I played, the president also repeated that's falsehood that was never heard in 2016. It's a reason he fired the 3 judges, Paran Mlonda, Annie Mwastali, and the others, for the very reason, because he suspects that they were instrumental in not allowing the petition to be heard. The petition was heard. Your lawyers spent the entire 14 days arguing about preliminary issues, and then you ran out of time. So you can't say the petition was not heard. The other matter is insults. Larry. I'm glad that you are so civil and so polite. Your voice is soft. But Larry fintulemba Larry. Larry, to say Larry. Come on. When City Market burned, and Larry was in UK, I think, I tried to reach him because he celebrated. That was during the period that President Hakainde Hichilema was was incarcerated, Larry praised the people that had burned City Market. And he said, if you burn another, I'm going to send you a something. Larry, lelo no ala tuwa pansele Larry. Your praise singers abuse us. Oh, they abuse us. They abuse our family. They mock us. If there is any group of people that totally in the cyberspace, look at Koswe, Larry. Larry, look at Koswe Fewalemba Koswe from State House. And the president has never stopped those boys from insulting anyone, from Archbishop Alik Banda, Dr. Fred Membe, myself and others. They call us all sorts of names. And your crowd of praise singers celebrate the abuse they cause on all of us. So Larry lelo mulande ati insele. I agree with you. The tribal debate is totally not necessary. But your government has been very selective. There's a video, maybe I don't know if I can play it here. There's a video, I think from Monze, of a woman insulting Bembas and Easterners for supporting Mundubile. You have seen it, it's gone viral. I haven't put it on my platform because I don't want to promote tribal division and tribal talk. But that video is so bad. Even worse than that young girl from SDA who would insult Archbishop Alik Banda and Sunday Sinyangwe. You will never arrest any of those people that are engaged in rhetoric. Look at Nevas Mumba, former vice president. He's in Chinsali. He's accusing Bembas of not voting for Ichilema, that we hate him because he's Tonga. Has Nevas Mumba been caught to the police? So Larry, before you pick a speck in the eyes of the opposition and the supporters, pick the big log, the big Nevas Mumba there, these big insults that your Koswe, pick that Koswe and take it to, I've reported Koswe to the police. They've told me they can't arrest anyone. I did an audit to demonstrate that it's run by State House and the editors. I demonstrated so. They've never arrested the editors, of course. When they abuse us, they abuse our family, they abuse us. So, Larry, thanks for calling, and I love the debate. I can even give you a link, Walanda na Nalanda. But peace is a two-way traffic. You know, national security is a two-way traffic. Yesterday, I spent time to say the president is pressuring so much that Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu must concede, and that they must concede, congratulate the president, and drop the petition. And they've sent so many people to achieve that. But look what the president is doing. At every opportunity, he's abusing them. He's telling the hawks, the phantom lies around the militia. He knows the truth. He's arrested nearly everyone, including musicians. No, but we are being told by foreigners like Commonwealth or Amnesty International, Mr. President, release all political prisoners. When did we have terms like that in Zambia? Political prisoners, militia. All this fall on the feet of the president. So, Larry, I thank you that you came. And I'm grateful that you were very civil and you respected me, and I respect you. But Larry, we have to face the facts as they are. And I thought that I could address you. Thank you very much. Guys, in the comments, what do you think? Larry made contributions. He wants, number one, that is commiserating with us, is acknowledge the death of the former minister, Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya. And he says, he felt the pain, like, the people that died, the people that the president usually mentions. And he says we need to heal of our pain. And Larry, another matter. Look at the president. He's an incumbent, we understand. Look at the extent of abuse of public resources in the campaign. He made government and our poor people foot the bill. And he was calling them community engagements when he was campaigning. And the vice president, they used millions of dollars in this campaign. And then they denied Brian Mundubile an opportunity to campaign. He could only muster up to 60 rallies in a period of 4 weeks. Your president had 167 rallies. Look at how uneven the crowd was. EU Observer Mission even said you were so blatant, you didn't care, you were even using ZNS vehicles, ZNS buses, GRZ vehicles, DC's vehicle, hospital buses to carry your cadres. You didn't put a care to whatsoever. It's those abuses that should come to a court. And the last one, Larry, you say the owner of the party, NRPUP, Ezra Tembo, has congratulated the president and has dissociated himself from the petition. And you have said the Secretary General, Zuman Zimba, says he will not be party to the petition. So you are wondering if Brian Mundubile have a case at all, and if they have any locus stand, because the case will be dismissed. Larry, my prayer is allow the petition. Remove the soldiers. Stop arresting Celestine. You are now making him a foreigner just because he's gathering the evidence. Stop all this. Let us go to court like civil people and let us resolve the matters. We are a democracy. We don't go to the bush. We go to the courts. Why are you preventing that process? Thank you very much. And I'd like to thank you, Larry. And if you want to feature, you are welcome.
Many of us in this region proud that you still have a judiciary and armed members of the judiciary that are able to do what is right for their people. We must be proud of that. We understand they went through temptations, a lot of temptations, and they withstood these temptations. Money, other things we hear were thrown at them. But they understood why they are on the Constitutional Court. Because the judiciary, the courts must be the place of last recourse, where we go to seek justice. Injustices are done every day in our elections. We know it here exactly. 2015, 2016, we know it. But in 2016, our matter was not even heard. Yet the Bill of Rights is clear that if a citizen is aggrieved about anything, they have a right to go to court. And any court of competent jurisdiction has an obligation to hear. It didn't happen in this country. That's happened in Malawi. We're so proud of that Malawi Constitutional Court bench. And I hope we can all learn something from that ruling, that you cannot continue cheating the people, the very people that gave you an opportunity to save them, especially in those roles. So congratulations to the opposition in Malawi, and one other thing we learned from Malawi is that they came together. The opposition came together. Here we have some oppositions that are surrogates of the ruling party who are used to abuse fellow opposition. But there, Dr. Chakwera, Dr. Silas Chidima, and others came together for a joint petition to save the people of Malawi. It's another lesson that we Zambians must learn. But more important, it's a Malawian citizen, the Malawian voter, who did not allow their vote to be manipulated. When their vote was manipulated, they showed it. They went in the streets. Citizen, the Malawian voter, who did not allow their vote to be manipulated. When their vote was manipulated, they showed it. They went in the streets to express their displeasure on how somebody had stolen their votes. They did it for months on end. It encouraged the judiciary. So you can see the point here. The battle, the fight must be fought from different areas.
Family, the election petition period, the Constitution provides for it to be heard within a period of 14 days, 7 days for the petitioner to collect his evidence, compile his evidence, and submit before court. And the other 7 days to argue the matter in court and for the court to determine. This matter is always handled by the Constitutional Court. So the deadline is tomorrow, 24th August. Many of you are saying, but why is this matter being delayed? It's not being delayed at all, deliberately. There's been an active, President Hakainde Hichilema planned for the post-electoral process, and he planned it so well. That is why, they attempted to arrest Jonas Zimba, one of our key lawyers who was in Southern Province trying to collect the Gen 20s and those inflated figures you saw from Southern Province. They've arrested Celestine Mukandila, our Secretary General, who was at the center of collecting all these documents, compiling, because you need evidence in court. It's not enough what the observer missions have said. You need an audit trail. They've arrested, for example, our post staff, our polling agents in Lusaka, most of them, especially the ones from key places like Kanyama Mandevu, and they've been locked up. So it's not the fault of Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu. Is that there's been a concerted crackdown to ensure that the election petition doesn't take place. And the president has also unleashed people to speak to Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu and all of us that the petition should be abandoned in the interest of peace, in the interest of national security, in the interest of healing. But how do you heal without justice? How do you forgive without the truth? How do you heal in the manner where you are now being accused of being militias when your crime was just to participate in the election? It's a two-way traffic, like I said. And the election petition is a civil process. If you are aggrieved, you don't go to the bush, you go to the courts of law. And President Hakainde Hichilema has been actively trying to prevent that. Citizens were trying to put up a petition of their own. There was a contact person, a well-known lawyer, and she has backed out at the last minute, claiming that there's no evidence. Even just evidence from the 3 major observer missions, the 4 observer missions, AISA, SADC, AU, and EU. That's enough evidence to nullify this election. Before you even go to the Gen 20s, the military invading, the poor centers, there is adequate evidence. This lawyer writes to colleagues and says there is no evidence and they are abandoning the process. They've given you preliminary reports, and you yourself, you have colleagues, Laz, under the church group, participated in monitoring elections. You have your lawyers that were chased by soldiers. You say there is no evidence? Again, we understand what's happening in the background. There's a lot of intimidation. There are a lot of threats. There are a lot of things that are happening. So it's not that Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu do not wish to file the petition. It's just these active activities. The day ends tomorrow, and we'll let you know what happens. We don't discuss details. I saw we should prevent discussing strategy. Again, that has been our weakness, telling the enemy everything. This is an open broadcast. So you don't know who is listening. But we can tell you some things, like, for example, a citizen petition that has been stopped in its tracks, even when it's ripe and ready. There are other stakeholders that want to file petition. Again, that process is being frustrated. Brian Mundubile has issued 2 statements that he is challenging the election of the president. You have seen his Secretary General, Zuman Zimba, and you've seen how his Secretary General is behaving. So there are all these blocks and encumbrances put in the way. And they've gone in overdrive in announcing writing letters to stakeholders that there will be an inauguration that will take place on 1st September. So that's the update. They've arrested Celestine Mukandila, our Secretary General. And remember that they arrested Kenneth Kamba, who was in charge of PVT and has been in prison. They've dismantled our secretariat. And they've gotten Zuman Zimba, who's working with them. That's why he's appearing on ZNBC. So, but we pray that the Lord will find a path. The work that some people are doing, we hope that they'll be strengthened, and they will not be cowed down. This is Brian Mundubile is merely carrying the burden of millions that voted for him, and he is not the one to blame. He just wants to present evidence to the court, whether the court will rule in his favor or not, whether they have bought his president for his special purpose vehicle, NRPUP, that's another matter. Whether they've bought Richard Martin Piri for the Resolute Party, that's another matter. But Brian Mundubile, as a presidential candidate who probably won this election, has a right to be heard. He has a right to go into that court and present the evidence that he has. He's being frustrated greatly. On Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya, remember yesterday I pleaded with the Secretary to Cabinet that Mtoto Kafwaya is a former minister. The families are grieved by many things, including the need for an independent postmortem. The duty of Secretary to Cabinet is to facilitate all that. Mtoto Kafwaya, like we've been arguing about the late President Edgar Lungu, that is a former president. And I understand that Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya wished to be buried in Lunte. And he was can you imagine that he was discussing these things a few weeks ago, that in case his life was taken, he would like to be buried in Lunte, back in the village where his constituency lies, his village lies, and where his people he has presented for many years. And Mtoto Kafwaya, like many leaders in the last 4 months, it's been terrible. And sometimes, you know, they had to be elsewhere. As you saw in Brian Mundubile, he had to get a home in Kudu Road, abandon the home that you know in Olympia, because there were all these threats against their lives. So what you are seeing today and the loss of life is just a culmination of a lot of things that have been happening in the last few days. So, Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya, my appeal is that, of course, we don't want government. We don't want government involvement. But unfortunately, for us, both the family and us, Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya was a cabinet minister. There is a role that cabinet office will play. My appeal is that they should go to that house and understand the concerns of the family. If the family, for example, want to do the matter privately, they should respect that. But also for the family, they also have an obligation. Their son, their father, their husband was a minister, a cabinet minister, and is entitled by law, by constitution, to certain entitlements, such as a state funeral, state burial, gun salute, and all that. And I know that they take over, they send ZNS, they pitch up tents, and they take over the kitchen to feed the people. I know we are angry that we've lost. They've killed. The same killers now are coming in the role of providers. But we should differentiate the UPND, the president, and the government. The government led by Secretary to Cabinet is supposed to be neutral. That's why we've always cried here that, fools like our brothers Tabo Kawana should never defile and desecrate those offices. Ambassador Andrew Band, and I'm glad that he's been quiet since he was reprimanded by all stakeholders. These public service jobs require that you are neutral. And in the case where there is wrangling, but things have to be done for the purpose of the nation, there should be the civil service, a neutral entity to resolve this issue. But it's so gone, so tribalized, so gone that no one is respecting it. But my appeal Kudiwa Kangwa is that he still has to play that key role and these people. I think those were the three issues. I'm going to open the phone lines if you have any questions. So for the election petition, just know that the last day is tomorrow. I know you are asking details. It will be revealing strategy, no general review strategy. If it fails, it will not have been that Brian Mundubile has betrayed you. Brian is trying. They are buying. They are intimidating. They are threatening. But Brian Mundubile is... and that's the last update, sorry, about Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu. They are still holed up at the United Nations building. There were attempts to extricate them from there. We understood the plans for these army commandos who are being led by this overzealous Shapwaya. Shapwaya matters for another day. This Shapwaya wanted to invade, and then the president was going to blame. But people were told him, Mr. President, that's a red line. You don't cross that line. That's the United Nations. You can't storm it. We understand there were plans that they will storm it, extricate Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu from there. Then government was going to regret and even fire some people for that action, disown the process, but they will have obtained Makebi Zulu and Brian Mundubile. The United Nations Secretary General has sent someone who arrives in the country today, and I think they will begin to negotiate the safe passage or safe release of Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu, if they will be released at all. But under the UN sanctuary, you have the case of Assange, the journalist, WikiLeaks founder, who stayed up to 10 years. I think Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu want to step out as soon as possible. They went to the UN to seek refuge and sanctuary. Their lives were in danger. For Brian Mundubile, I had just seen the gunning down of his colleague of many years. He just saw the cruel treatment of the people around him. He's just seen a humble man like Bishop Trevor Mwamba treated like an armed robber. He just saw an eminent lawyer, George Sanga, internationally acclaimed, former Law Association of Zambia president, treated like a criminal. And he couldn't guarantee his own safety, so couldn't Makebi. And that's why they drove to the UN, and that shelter was given. There was immense pressure given on the UN resident coordinator, who was outgoing. She refused to hand over Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu. She couldn't. She couldn't even allow her deputy to make that decision. She referred the matter to the United Nations. I understand they are very busy here. There's an election coming up. UNGA, what we call UNGA, which is the United Nations General Assembly, is coming up in the first 2 weeks of September, and Guterres is outgoing and is busy with facilitating his exit and preparing for this General Assembly. But this matter is so serious that the UN have sent someone from New York who's probably arriving in Zambia today, and then he will negotiate between the state and the UN and Brian and Makebi Zulu on the impasse that has been created. But Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu are at the United Nations for their own safety. They have just been shot at, killed, Mtotoka fire, and you cannot blame them for seeking sanctuary. So I think that was the last update on that was remaining. We keep on tracking this issue. I'm privileged. I'm a former ambassador at the African Union, so I've got a lot of my colleagues everywhere at the United Nations which would come to and support, and they can help us with some of this information of what's happening. The African Union Observer Mission is still in Zambia. The EU Observer Mission is still in Zambia, so it's been easier for us to get some of the information. And also watch out for Dr. Sishua Sishua. He's totally connected, and his write-ups follow usually what he predicts. He predicted that President Hakainde Hichilema will not win the elections. He will use the military and will engage in industrial scale rigging. Exactly what Sishua Sishua stated. You'd think he's a prophet, but everything he predicted, follow what he says. That's why they even think that there's a young man, Mutinta, former priest in Mazabuka. He writes very well. Priests are well trained, and they think he's Sishua Sishua. A living man who people know, and he was serving in parishes in Mazabuka and Monze. You want to say he's Sishua Sishua. I saw Oliver even dare ask that I should bring Mutinta here on the podcast. I'm going to. I'll call my colleagues in the Catholic Church and I'll ask him if they can bring Mutinta here, who you allege is Dr. Sishua Sishua. There are many intelligent people in our country, okay? And there are many brave people in there. It doesn't matter how many you shut out. There are many people. The lines is now buzzing, and legitimately so. So let me begin to take the calls for you. We open the phone lines. The phone lines are open. Caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
I'm Banda Steven, Pangad, Eastern Province.
Mr. Banda, switch off the other device. Switch off the other device. There's a lot of echo.
Okay. Ambassador, e-petition, could it be access online?
No, we are not like Joe. We are not like South Africa where you can find your petition online.
Okay. Yeah, because umuntu wati pasa mavuto ya kura sati masera ona last day ni mayo. So mamene wa ikira security pena pale post. How are we going to manage to file the petition?
We've just discussed,
Because
my brother.
Okay.
Someone's on Vela.
Okay. Mavera, so isethi mikizani manenge mapemphero ukuthi mpakana petition mairo ichitike. They needed to try to all means vandani va UN nichito yawo va UN security iliko afuniko vathandizira avantu kuti mpakana mairo vachite manage zikoma kwambiri.
Thank you. A brother of mine, Teddy Chamamazunda, is a keen follower on my page. He has written, Yoba PF, you are so docile and gullible to buy such. Someone doesn't need to have evidence at hand to petition the presidential election. No. Filing a presidential election petition is just telling the Constitutional Court that we are ready to provide credible evidence to prove that the presidential election was not valid and hence must be nullified. Even if Mukandila is arrested, the court can even compel the Electoral Commission of Zambia to produce a needed electoral material or any other election information that might be relevant to help the court make an informed decision. Chamamazunda na imwe. As if you don't know that we are under a dictatorship. Yangu tatai. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Okay, hello. I'm Mr. Mtonga calling you within Lusaka.
Mr. Mtonga, make your contribution.
Okay. It's about me. I just want you to clarify on these things. Hello?
Please go ahead, make your contribution.
Okay. Yeah, me, I'm feeling ashamed in this country because the crime which we always hear of sedition and the treason cases. But when we see these cases, I don't even see where they go. So now, how do they work? So maybe people can understand to say, what is a seditious case? And which case can it be called a treason? Then I also want to clarify, how is it going to be on petition? Because we want to hear from the court. The court should decide, because there are a lot of criminal activities happening on elections. So we can't just sit on this. So I don't know how it was going to be. That's what I wanted to ask.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Endita.
Yeah, thank you. Mwamba, do not mute me. You muted me yesterday and I was not heard.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No.
Because I went back to do the replay. Yeah. Well, Mwamba, I just want to respond to Valari, who you also respect so much. I'm glad, Valari, you are sitting by this platform. I hope you group up with your colleagues and debate something, Bamwamba. You are not debating with Bamwamba. Yeah, you are debating with us, the majority of Zambians sitting on a 0 meal per day. Yeah. Where you are, Balari, you throw food in the dustbin. If not, you give your food to your dogs. take a tour in the compounds, then come and debate. Because the debate is with us, not Bamwamba. This is what I wanted to respond. And don't talk about insults, because we receive a lot of insults from your people, just like Bamwamba has put it. And I end here Bamwamba for him. Now I come to the petition. I just pray, because you see, the word of God does not come out of our mouths. I just pray to God that this petition will go through, because it's us who are petitioning, not even Mundubile. Mundubile is going to open the way for the majority of the Zambians. Thank you so much. Hello?
Mkwai Mwapwisha.
Okay,
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Mabukashano ambassador.
Endita.
Mkwai. Ambassador, ndefo okulanda ko pali balya bakituma balya supporter baba UPND balakatinga libagata. Bachilala ndokwe bati ya case bakachita thrown out. It's like abamagadas balakwata information wangu na pali nani kaneja petition ya Edgar Lungu balela ndezo fino kwe batiyo bakachita thrown out. So it's like ababantu emisango shabo shintu bakwata and ndechita age eto ningachita age ne kube ikala chalo kwebe na Zambia kweba ile mukubota ba plan Mundubile kweba imine muwingi na papene file to apela solidarity jali ne kumakoti problem kwebe na Zambia mwenso ntwakwata busha mwenso washane ntwakwata tufile to apela solidarity kuli ba president ero bakalaya kuli amukuchita petition na ngula kubantu balabakala amukuchita petition kuli to apela solidarity to aima muwingi bala masoja balate bantu bamwe abakutina yo bafena nguku ikumba lifena atwima muwingi filafine to aimine mukuvota kama to amukuchita na filafine solidarity tulepera abakala mukuchita petition nombe fine nga tukalale kera fya ubene na abanga bali 5 nga bali banga 10 bamukuchita petition ifo fwe bale vota fwe chilekali twikero kutali mulemo nakwatifika bombeka so ababagada bemisango shintu shibakwatesha kwe bati baleshiba nokushiba outcome ififie na pali ino nchitatufire tuikatane kwebe na Zambia tuime tukeme muwengi tukachite nangula solidarity tukupera abakamu kuchita petition elo ichi chimusango echine bamwamba ina chisekere mwecha kwe bati bale bomfya ba police kuma koti kulanga tuyamukuchita seek justice nangulo kukwata justice kwe bati tumone filafini tuleilisha nyapo kwe bati afendere muri buwini nombanga tuaya kulya tulesanga kwe bati kulya masoja na kwena tulesanga kuli ba police na kwena ninsheko tukala kutukira ni kwisi so eshishi musango chilekwa kwa chise kumpera nde mikoseresha konze kuntu muri mwebekala chalo especially mumwe bakabako mpepi ko musaka ukeme muwengi mukaepera solidarity atotera bamwe.
You bring a very valid point. Mabantu bakwalesa mwe bavotele malama lawyers benu bakula twala petition but na move at na bachita siu kusheta tumubashindike. This is what this scholar is saying. Very valid point. Is that tumleshila abantu 5 mleshila abantu 5 inga baba senda limbinga mwasango akona imwe. Remember what we were saying. Go and vote. Protect the vote. Now protect the results. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Mamba.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mamba, this is an engagement call. I've got few questions which I need to be answered directly, not after my call. Mr. Mamba, I want you to explain to me what's the difference between the president and the presidents.
The president is a person. The presidency is an institution. The presidency involves his aides, his cabinet, his ministers. That's a presidency. It's very big. Yeah. The president is an individual.
Oh, thank you very much. Then I go to the next one. Mr. Mwamba, would you think that the presidents could allow what was happening in Mungu, whereby the cadres, the security men for the brand Mundubile, they were having the automated guns. And you know, by law in Zambia, there is no individual should own those automated guns.
Those my brother, the team has dismissed it. There were no guns, just lies that have been perpetrated. There were no guns. And one of the video was manipulated.
We watched that video.
Send me the video, I play it now. Send me the video, I play it now. Just send it now.
I'll send it now.
Yes, send it now.
Now, send it. We saw that video, Mr. Mwamba.
Send the video we play. I'm just telling you that the brand Mundubile and Makebi Zulu addressed that matter at the press conference, and they dismissed those assertions. They are making a lot of AI videos, and you can put, before you even send it to me, put it in Google. If it doesn't tell you that there's AI material, then send it to me. Okay?
Yeah.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, Bamwamba.
Yeah, hello.
Thank you very much for the work that you're doing.
Thank you very much.
They've got political dementia. They forget easily. An ordinary citizen who could if you are elimination case long. Even in our case, the Constitution clearly allows any citizen to do so. Mundubile and Makebi Zulu petition. Bena Zambia. Pushininshi babila ukopo. This is very unfortunate. Once I have papa UPND, Mure Bachita cutting, I some Buchita waste time. Thank you.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good morning, Bamwamba.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Mamba, I just want to inquire one thing from you. I believe you're broadcaster, and I'm sure you are the right person to get this information. Are you in position to tell us if our President Brand Mundubile will succeed in filing the petition?
We are Honorable Brand Mundubile, from the last communication he made to the country, he says he's petitioning the is petitioning the election of the president. He has made it very clear. So let's see what happens tomorrow. He has not changed his mind. He has not communicated otherwise.
Okay, but how many days remaining for that document to be filed in the
Up to tomorrow.
Up to tomorrow. Thank you so much, Mr. Mwamba.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Twabuka badala mwabuka buti.
Twabuka gabutu. Gambuga ligo kaga mdala. Imasimpe anoi hui wamba utanga masimpe. So toba na Zambia tuli bantu bapairaleza. Ino akambuga mizezo yesu tutayandi gufyenga bamwe bantu akambuga bubo tumbu twabona mu kisi ya Zambia. Masimpe anoyinga masimpe iba Brian Mundubile alimu aba Makebi Zulu nibagali kuburozi wina ntoboro ibaga kisi katwamba masimpe noti kuti tuuninine chintu chibi ichibi chikalali chibi tachaka chinjo kuba muchisuma aba bantu tutababiki itwambo tunjanji pe atwiminine masimpe noti kuti kambuga kuti UPN yachita kuti atwambe masimpe intoboro buya yachindi tibaga chisi inotu yandabo kuba tienga bandi wa mundaba ndiga bamwamba.
Yes, my brother.
Ino aba bantu tutabafyengi atuba unikambo bamundubile tabali bagu Congo pe mbana Zambia pona atubike one Zambia one nation atu muhuno oyo muntu tutabere hibu kuru kupe tu na baliga botu ba UPND wali choba bika imwintu hitaliga botu choba bika ba masoja we kambwazi balibwe ne utitabaliga botu balibwe utitabaliga botu ono atu paile wamba uti oba ye onse hibe downi tabere Zambia ukilisa nation ndarumba mdala.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. Let's take the colleagues. We need to Sunday. People need to be in church. They need to go to church. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Yes, make your contribution. Sorry, I didn't get what she said. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make a contribution.
Okay, I prefer to remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Thank you, Mr. Mwamba. My concern is just to check with this petition. Are we being assisted at least by the international observers, or is there people that are coming in to help us? Because with our local government, with even this dictator that we have, a monster that has been created, it will be very difficult for us to now win, because he's trying to buy the lawyers and everything. So I pray that we are having assistance from elsewhere. I remember early January I had a dream about a monster turning into immortal, where he was now ruling Zambia, and I told Rillian, I told Chichi, I told people in the groups that we have. But somehow they didn't take me serious to engage into praying about it, and I requested even for other intercessors so that we can pray, because I saw HH turning into like fire, and then he started now ruling, and he didn't want to leave power. So we really have to be in prayers, and this petition, we really have to engage it again in prayers. So please, you who is there, Mr. Mwamba, you've been working with UN. Can we at least push and engage even international laws? Are they coming to help us so that we see this monster out of power? We are tired of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where and your name and tell us your contribution.
Hello, Ramamba. I'm Anonymous from Zambia, Lusaka.
Yes, Anonymous.
I wanted to, from the man of God who's been talking about intercession. There's a Psalms 3. Psalms 3 talks about when David was being persuaded by his son. So I was taught to pray Psalms 3.
You are speaking away from the phone. You are speaking away from the phone.
I was taught how to pray Psalms 3. And Psalms 3, I think in my law, or starting today onwards, let's engage in Psalms 3. Psalms 3, David and God clearly reminded him that there's nothing too hard for God. So Muliomuli David, Tule Lumbula, Ichalo Chesu Zambia, Tule Lumbula, Watataba Makebi Zulu, Naba Mundubile, Tuaba Lumbula. Ama enemies, yes, where it says enemies, let's mention who we know as enemies as we pray. But at the end of the day, we should also mention the name of Jesus to disappoint all those people that are up to no good. So, Ramamba is Psalms 3. Pa online page and try pin it. You can even make a meaning for that.
What is the
people should
verse?
dwell on this. Psalms 3.
Okay.
Psalms 3. Yes. So nomba chimbo chona chafu okulanda po. Amwamba ine when we were growing up, tatwaishibe po ifya kwebati uyu mtundu. In fact, me my growing up, I was very confused because our neighbors, kukwali abatonga, kwali abalenje, kwali abalozi. So my them was confused. Nale sanka nyashonse shimitundu pamo. Nga chafu ya narumbo la ishi na ya mchilenje na ya mchitonga. What am I trying to say here? Majority Zambians and believers, I would say those that don't mock the wrong things are believers. Mocking, they are not Christians. What has saddened me is that ukusango kwebati baleseka info yaba mtoto kafwa bamsizi mtoto kafwa batonga but bonsa bale baseka. You're laughing at your own sister, you're mocking somebody's death, you're mocking on so many things. All over but they are reaping, because this is thing that they are reaping is generational case. It's going to be a generation case for everybody. Yeah. Then secondly, in terms of petition or to late day, this is where the Psalms 3 comes in. Intercessors should involve Psalms 3. We pray that everything works out for us. We need to stand up. The whole day we give each other hours. Even you could engage us on your page. Can certain group do this? If it's those that are on WhatsApp, let's engage and pray. Pray without ceasing. We need to pray without ceasing. Thank you so much, Ramon.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Mamba. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Olivia, Mr. Mamba, and I'm calling you from right now. I'm still in Chadiza. Mr. Mamba, first and foremost, it's so disheartening that this country has gone to dogs. And we have arrived where we are today as a nation. And the critical voice that is expected to defend the interest of our country has gone mute. We have people like Banevas Mumba, who has become a Lumbani Madoda, worshipping every wrong things that are happening. It is sad. And Mr. Mamba, this is the second election that I've participated. This election, Mr. Mamba, was like so traumatizing, and the people really wanted change, and they voted out the UPND. Now, my question is, if they are saying they have won, why are they trying to block the petition? Because then the court will prove who the winner is. It is sad that HH wants to run this country like the way he ran his kitchen, which is not true. And to me, I want to call upon all Zambians. You never support the UPND. This country, before UPND went into power, there were people that died for it, that sacrificed for it. Zambia got its independence, and we've had elections before. Why is this election so different and so difficult? And why is it that you want to govern with lies? The 5 years we had enough lies. Even now, this creation of lies is not making sense. To me, let them allow the petition to go through and vindicate this. Vindicate people that are saying that they won. So why block? Because we are very much aware right now they are military. At the magistrate court, they've blocked. Why all that? And we are going to call upon the international community to come in and help us. The UN, can you ensure that that petition goes through tomorrow? We want to test our courts because evidence is there and it's very vivid. Look at the Chawama. The Chawama, the Mandevu yesterday, a guy that had lost was declared as a winner. This is they are also committing crimes because under the constitution of our land, people must vote. But this is a disappointing candidates who have lost to represent the people. That is very wrong. So this petition has to go through. We need the courts to prove because evidences are there. And we can give them evidences across the country. So this election, all of it must be nullified, be it presidential, parliamentary, because a lot of people who lost have been appointed instead of people who elected the candidates to be ushered in. So to me, it's a shame. But Paraka can't force himself on the people. It doesn't work like that. Governance doesn't work like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia Piri. Thank you so much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good morning, Daniel from Cape Town.
Daniel, make your contribution.
First thing first, I think petition Yamairo, I see the situation here Honorable Gary Bombo taking place. They will send people to distract or even the same soldiers. But just going there will show that we've presented, and if they bar anyone, it means they know what they've done. So they must know that refusing people to petition is a clear sign that they know that they will lose the petition. So a noble person will just allow the petition to go through. And these people that are being elected dubious, the 5 years that you are going to either be in parliament or the council is illegal. So just bear in mind that all the taxpayers' money that you will be receiving, at the end of it all, you are going to pay back. Because no sane person can accept defeat and later be thrown in to say you won. And you go there and you'll be paid using taxpayers' money. So just use your conscience and refuse to work with the illegal thing. Think to see about illegal. Tawawi never be kapona. You are not for that. Bakupere na chimoto. If you cook whatever goes up must come down. There will be a time that it will come down. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, Mr. Maba.
Yes, caller.
Hello?
Yes, caller.
Yes, yes, I'm getting you. Yes, Mr. Mamba. Honorable.
Yes.
Yes. And actually myself, I remain unknown.
Please proceed. Please proceed.
Yes, I remain unknown. Yes. Firstly, I would like to appreciate your work. And secondly, I would like, just like a general who does not review the strategy, please don't review the strategy which is going to be used. And on this one, as the people are going to be with the lawyers tomorrow, please kindly make sure that the international people who can foresee what will be happening tomorrow, they are there at the court. Thirdly, I would like to appreciate the gentleman from, is it Southern Province, who called, telling us how the Mr. Mundubile and others have worked, and also that they are Zambians. Yes, on that one again, I would like you also to tell you that there was a story. This is a story. There was a Ichiwa. Let me just analyze it in Bemba. Kwali Ichiwa, itaikete abantu batatu. Abantu batatu, iyo chale fuma munganda mulya, chaishire senda umo, abantu batatu balya, ko bati abe captain. So chasa muno kumulayo ko batiwe shaka kulye. Chaishirelya wa number one. Alu chabwera chasa ali wa number one. Chayana kabiri chasa ali wa number two. alo kyasabwera babiri bonse baja abalipo kyalya kwashere nomba uja muntumo ula kyasontera ati captain ilio kyayishire bwera takikwetya abakulya kyalire banani kyalire uli wini captain napera mko. I thank you.
Thank you. The lines are open. Make your contributions quickly so that we can begin to wind up. Make your calls. A lot of people are writing voice notes. I rarely play the voice notes. Just call. It's better when you call. Thank you. Yes, caller.
Hello.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Oh, I'm calling you from the United States. My name is Anonymous. I'm not going to mention my name.
Make your contribution, Anonymous.
Okay, my contribution is there any way we can stop CR1 to be meddling in our affairs? Isn't there a way that we can restrain him from meddling in our affairs? From the look of things, it seems CR1 is the one who is engineering. If you remember, there were so many voice notes that we heard where CR1 was actually instructing people to start stoning our president, and when he did that, when he said that, then we saw that the president was being stoned. And then even the issue of soldiers, he talked so much, because he complained so much that why did you allow him to stand? But the fact that he stood, now he was engineering to say they should send soldiers, and for sure we saw that happening. Surely, why would we have a foreigner trying to give instruction to a whole president in a different country? Why is it like that? So my question is there a way that he can be stopped? Because equally he's been in the forefront trying to advise the president Mundubile to say, don't petition the president. These judges were appointed by the president. Like, really? I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take your calls quickly so that we can quickly wind up. There are so many of you calling. Let's take your calls quickly. Let's take your calls so that we... Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Okay, my name is Anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Yes. Mr. Mwamba, I would really love the petition to go on. In such a way, us Zambians, majority of us Zambians, we are not happy with what is happening. We are not happy with what is happening, all the injustices. It's like this UPNT government is being lined with people with no hearts. Moreover, Zambia is a Christian nation. So what are they taking us for? So for us, we're having this big impact to our economy and the people at large who are in those custody. Talking of these allegations that they are making for the NRPUP, which did not exist in more than 5 months. It wasn't there. But they are telling us to say that they are malicious. They started investigating 2 years ago and some other stuff, which are all right. So we want justice. We want justice. As citizens of Zambia, we want justice to prevail. I think this is what I can just say for now.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
I'm calling you from Lusaka, Zambia. My name is Mundubile. Am I clear?
Yes, my brother, you are. Make your contribution.
Thank you very much, my brother. I'm taken aback by the position that Zimba is making over this issue. I'm very disappointed over that young man. I thought he was too educated and mature for that. How would you think so low? What is that? Why didn't he take a corrective position of the organization which he helped form? Then we are saying that go to petition, he's also saying something else. So that young man, wherever he's getting me from, I'm appealing to him to say, please reflect. Our people say, whatever you are eating from these people. You know one thing that has come up over these elections that I'm happy that all the snakes have been exposed, which is very right. We don't know where Charinga is, we don't know where Sunday Chanda is, we don't know whether he's going or coming. So what we are saying is that it is a democratic right of Tonse to petition his house. There's nothing wrong about that. Why are the courts there for? It's their rights to ensure that the petition is right. More especially that the irregularities are widespread. Everybody noticed the irregularities and the rigging that was there. We are effectively in a state of emergency in this country now. And to interrogate further of the young man, Zumanizim, what is there is that when you say that you need to accept these results, Sat accepted the results because he knew that he had a very good playing field. He had to go back and campaign and no one stopped him. But as things stand now, we are dealing with the state, which is crashing the opposition. And they have already started crashing brand. You have heard the owner of the party, what he's saying. So you need to understand these things in context and in what we are dealing with. President Sata had the governments, President Michael Sata had the government which allowed the opposition to operate free. But now we are dealing with a government which doesn't want any challenge. So the issue of petition must be supported by all well-meaning Zambians. Let the courts have a bite about this. So that's what I register these views. But effectively, my brother, we are in a state of emergency. There are police officers all over, army officials all over. Even when they see funerals, they are stopping. They are just there. It's like they want to interview the stop 3 people gathering for funerals. So I don't know what's happening in this country. But God help us. It's important that we all ensure that we pray. We don't know why are you sending officers at the High Court to stop people from petitioning? Why? It's because the judiciary, the police, everybody, he has taken them and put them in his pocket. But you see, he must be taught that our people from this province, they say that Masiku Nipanyo Patamba. What is there is that today you may think you're up there, tomorrow you'll be down. Political power is not power that you can take like this. Each dog has its own day. So it's very important that these people who are behaving like snakes and traitors, sell out, putting on in beautiful suits like the young man, Zumanzimba, must be cautioned in time to say, please, can you take your time? Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Namigo.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Anonymous from Osaka.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Yes, Mr. Mwamba, if you remember, there was a video where President Hakainde Hichilema, I think he was addressing an audience, I don't know whether it was Mongoshi or so, where he mentioned to say he doesn't like to be challenged. So all what is happening is exactly what he said, and he meant it. Please, if you can find it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Someone wants me to find the video where the president says he doesn't like to be challenged. My sister, you can watch it. It's here.
Okay.
I don't want people confronting me like this, because where I grew up, we fear nothing. When you confront me, You're creating a problem there. I don't want people confronting me like this, because where I grew up, we fear nothing. When you confront me, you're creating a problem there. I don't want people confronting me like this, because where I grew up, we fear nothing. When you confront me, you're creating a problem there.
Hello? Yes, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Anonymous here calling you from Andola.
Yes, Anonymous. Yes.
Bamwamba, first of all, we are grateful for the work that you are doing. May God richly bless you. There is a purpose why you are there at such a time like this. And we know what UPND has tried in so many ways to make sure that they silence your voice. But you've been there standing strong. For that, may God continue to bless you. Coming to the issue of petition, all well-meaning Zambians, we are there to support. But all I'm asking is that there be enough communication so that we can really rally behind the team that will be going to petition, and we seek for SABC and any other media houses, Al Jazeera and all, to be there to film.
Tomorrow is the last day. What time do you want? It's the last day tomorrow.
We need to know what time they'll be going there. And with your connection, can you allow the media houses to be there so that us who are going to rally behind the lawyers, we should be there on time. Whatever time it is.
8:30 mwasenda na menshi. Whatever time they will come, you should be there.
We are grateful, sir. Thank you.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good morning, Ambassador Bamwamba.
Good morning.
Bamwamba, icho ndefu akokulanda chakweva kuma Zambians. Chintu chachitika mu Zambia chipe chamano. Ngecha chitike mu Uganda. Abantu bali siko kwimyemitwe bende emitu chachikotta. No mbecho nalaye baba mawe na batakani nkashi. Mwilekera olulu buli bashitata. Bamwamona bonza balwire nkondo. Abana kashi bali kwata royi kurusana. Namuleshe mu fyalo by'abasungu babaye bati demonstrate. Besa mukufula tabakwata amashati balafunyako benga n'amabere. Bapokola takuli wingana so muntu mwana kashi mfuti tafwere ko kiri cyonse kumuru. Takule kwakabepata bakwate. So bamayo n'abankashi yanji. Iri mbeni mukwaba kimufunyeko uyu mukukuru wa Isa. Because ababonza babo muri mona abantu balerumbanya ababonza aba. Tangu mumone ba Nevers mumba mumone ba Daddy mumone ba Mausa. Bonza bali abakabakosa kunse. Na bonza baba bosoja bera bakwata ko intebe bali abakonkiremo. Bachako batawuli muntu wako bonze mu bakamikosa. Tamwaletere abantu babiri bona ulekyalo mu Mazambia. Jinshi mwalekera abantu babiri. Abata inzo na komanda wabo. Because aba alambo okuteka ekyalo. Bamwe abalekera. Mumone ekyakitika. Kyalo kya musango nkicha kwa election mwabula masoja. So ekyo nde mweba bamayenda bakashya ndiji mbeni mayo ukula make sure that mwatungirira okoko baleya abantu mu support change. Totela bamwamba.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, on top of the hour, we end the broadcast. On top of the hour, we end the broadcast.
I don't want people confronting me like this, because where I grew up, we fear nothing. When you confront me, you're creating a problem there. I don't want people confronting me like this, because where I grew up, we fear nothing. When you confront me, you're creating...
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution. Shangwe, please make your contribution, my brother. Introduce yourself and make your contribution.
Anonymous from Senanga.
Thank you, Anonymous. Make your contribution.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. I think one thing I can say is we will be very disappointed if the petition doesn't go through. The nation can be quiet, but we are all counting on this petition to go through. If the petition goes through, we know we tried the courts, and it will also go in the record and in the history that this can work, and if we give it a try. 2016, the petition was tried, and it led to the constitution being strengthened such that we have a 14-day conclusive period. So if we don't try this, we're not going to see the gap that is in our judicial system, and we're also not going to show to the world that there is an injustice at play in our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, Mr. Mumba. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm calling from the UK.
Thank you. Make your contribution.
Mr. Mwamba, to start with, I hope all my fellow Zambians are getting me wherever they are. Fellow Zambians, I'm telling you, we are crying even if we are here. We are seeing exactly what is happening in Zambia. This is a very deplorable state in which Zambia is as of today. Trying to compare, I'm trying to see the election we've had in the recent past. We had that election in 91 from the MMD. We have had the elections with the PF, we have had the election with the previous, and then I'm trying to see this election we've had in the last week. I'll put it on the 30th of August. I mean, these elections are, I don't know how I would put it. For the first time in the history of elections, to acquire another soldier on the streets. This is uncalled for, please, to apapata. And then secondly, I'm looking at the petition which they are trying to file, I think, within the course of this week we are starting. Please let this petition go through because Zambia needs liberation. We need our second independence. That's what I wanted to say. And lastly, I would put it in this way, please. And Alisa Mfwako, other caller, I think last week when I was following you, there was a lady who cried so much on the line to say, liberation, yes, but this is not the way we fought for. No. We fought as so that we can be so much independent, not in the way that they have taken us. No. If Lamba na Mayo, Padavali Lina Limfira Movi, where the Namayo cries, where the Namayo cry, I don't think if Lamba Cafe in vain. I think God is watching wherever He is, and God will answer our prayers. And I think it's not long from now. Zambia will be liberated, and we should we all keep our fingers crossed so that at least we achieve our second independence. Thanks, Mr. Mwamba.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution. Yes.
Icho ningakoseresha abena Zambia chakwe bachi. Ero tukaya mairo mukupera solidarity abakala kulyanga maloyals. Tukafunyepo mwenso tuikabaide yakwe bati namona kule aba police kula babengi. Aiko firafine twire twa mamwingi. Noti wamona abanenu baleya bali mubwingi ngomure ikaroko. Shoni ishikatwa kasove bwino. Ero chingawamisha sana. Solidarity neko tuberere kunchendeshi lishonze. This solidarity kutwapera. Firafine nga turechita protest mu street nishi solidarity turepera na ena idea. Noti mufyongo iyo. Ngamona kusaka kulya abantu ibumba lya kulya. Na muno mwine munanika kuchende muntu kuberere na mwena twaima mwibumba twambo kurapera solidarity munshire isuma muri peace noti mufyongo. So ndeba koseresha abekala cyaro kwebati. Konse kundi tuberere imairo inifino mairo indi tureya kwe kuchikwa mupera solidarity va president. Ngabaisala ndakwe bati yota turefwaye nishi chapwa firafine. So tufuire foto aikatana kwebantu mwefwe kala cyaro konse kunchende kuntuberere. Wema structures konse mwa supporta baba Mundubile konse kunchende kuntuberere isempere solidarity munchende muntuberere tukamono kwebati ikesi antu bakasuminishe bakoti kwebati bakayunko ngatako bati ba brand Mundubile bali rushire bakaruse kula kwine koti bakayirondoro kwebati wali rusa ifishinga nifine nombanga twaikala fe twalekera fe balabe ni abali kulanda emieba kino ekyalo naye mwebe minine ba opposition tamwakatale imyangapo presidential nga mwalekerera kwe bati omuntu atwalira okola kitero fine kale natuderera nomba atotera.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Erokola, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Yeah, I wanted to say anonymous also, eh?
Yes, anonymous.
Yeah, I'm calling from the UK, and I'm first to start with, I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed about this program, Mr. Mwamba. You know, a lot of inciting the Zambians to be...
My brother, say your opinion. Just a minute.
Let me continue, please. Let me continue.
You are not going to continue. Just a minute. Just a minute. If you don't listen to me, you are not going to continue. We have rules. You come here, air your views. Don't criticize me. Don't criticize the platform. If you follow the rules, I'll let you speak. Yeah, speak what you want to say.
Can I follow the rules? Can I follow the rules?
The rules are that speak your mind, what you want to say.
What I want to say that those elections were conducted in a transparent manner. The international community were there. There was no problem in each election.
Continue, sir. Continue.
Yeah, so really,
Please say your views.
Yeah.
Ngawisa pasisa kalande chili kumutima. Don't say Bamwamba this. I merely provide the platform. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
I'm calling from Osaka. I am Medisha.
Okay, make your contribution.
Honorable, there is a video that you played here where I was saying I don't like being confronted myself. That is the problem that he has. Because he says, I grew up differently. Once I put a sanako, did you let that bring in your Yoko Akuroko, we saw Tungure Charono in his Nankani mentality of it? Eh? Dagwa. And then what if the petition is blocked? What is next? I think that's what I wanted to ask.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling from and make your contribution. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling from and make your contribution. So, the caller is quiet and silent. Let's go to the next caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, Bamwamba.
Yes, sir. Tell us who's calling.
Okay, Bamwamba. I'm not going to hide my name. My name is Patrick Chilufya from the UK. And I'm just so disappointed by the guy who was just caught. And CR1, telling Mundubile not to exercise his constitutional right. Bamwamba, if elections were true and fair, why are they scared about the petition? Because the petition is part of the elections, and it also is there to test our democracy. So, Bamwamba, one of the videos you played, everybody must have seen it, even including that guy who was talking a few minutes ago. And I've even sent it to the president. And I've put it on my Facebook. Bamwamba, a true leader leads by example, and I know the president is listening to this program or somebody is listening on his behalf. True leaders lead by example. When you say, I'm gonna declare my assets and my ministers and everybody every year, and then when you come to power, you don't do it, you are not a true leader. You remember, Mwamba, I always talk about leadership. We are in this situation because of poor leadership of HH. All the nonsense that happened at ECZ, Kafua's death, all those are symptoms of poor leadership. So, Bamwamba, if everybody who listened to that video, I think you need to play it again, so that that guy can listen to it. And I'm pleading to my president, if he's a true man of God, he was in church yesterday with Madam Mutinta, if he's a true man of God, Zambia is a Christian nation. It needs to be ruled by biblical principles. Let him lead by example. You is our chief priest in a Christian nation. He clearly said we should be like the Malawans. When they discovered that they were not happy with the elections, they went into the street. Without destroying anything, peaceful demonstration. And they demanded that there should be a petition so that the rightful winner of Dr. Chikwera and Lazarus should win. And the petition went in and they won the petition. That's what the president is saying. And I'm telling them, please, Mr. President, for the first time, allow Zambians to express their democratic rights, the Bill of Rights. I'm not saying people should go into the street and destroy things. No, that's illegal. Zambians should go into the street tomorrow. Allow them for the first time. Let the world see that President HH is a democratic president. Lead by example. Why are you scared of the petition? Let the petition go in. And the petition should go in. Nobody, because if they go there, they try to stop them by the police, and the whole world will see. Let the journalists go there. We cannot, our country cannot be destroyed by one person. Our democracy cannot be destroyed by one person. So, Mamamba, let me just go through some of the things. I've said Zambia is in this situation because of poor leadership. We cannot start talking about peace and reconciliation, Mwamba, without restitution. That peace and reconciliation will be fragile. Mwamba, I'm a student of leadership and reconciliation. You cannot talk about peace once you haven't sat down and talk about what went wrong. That's why they are mediators. That's why they are conciliators. First, you have to look at what went wrong. How do you, if you want to talk about peace, we need to go through the petition and find out if anything went wrong. If something went wrong, first, the Constitutional Court needs to reverse those elections and have new elections, but not under the same circumstances. There has to be restitutions. There has to be a new electoral chairman who is neutral. Not that, Madam, I respect her, but she's a cadre just like me. Imagine, Mwamba, I supported HH day and night to go into State House. You know that. Everybody knows that. HH knows that. And then I'm appointed as the chairman of Electoral Commission of Zambia. But Mwamba, however qualified I am, I'm still a cadre. And that is an independent electoral commission. It has to be autonomous. So that institution, a lot of people have to be changed. But there are pictures. You need to show them Kubantu. there is a picture of Kasalo putting salt and something with UPND supporters. The next moment he's announcing the results. You tell me...
Zevianji Sinkala. Not Kasalo, Zevianji Sinkala.
Yes, not Kasalo, Sinkala, yes.
Yes.
Who is the commissioner? We need to show the world. And Bamwamba, that is huge evidence for our... Already we've got that's evidence for our petition. Sinkala needs to be caught. Are you the one who was showing the sword symbol? And at the same time, you're announcing the results. Bamwamba, those results were not... We saw it. The police storming the counting center, the soldiers storming the counting center. Just to stop the counting has never happened in our history. That 6 hours changed everything. That was illegal. So, Siawan, leave our country alone. Nigeria has got issues. Siawan, I've been to Nigeria several times. Nigeria has more issues than Zambia. Why are you concentrating on Zambia? Leave us alone. Deal with your own issues. Let the dead bury themselves. You cannot be instructing us what to do in our country. You know? So, Bamwamba, we need to do. Kafuaya's death is as a result of bad leadership. Bamwamba, who killed Kafuaya? Ni Bakateka. Why? Because Bakateka is the commander-in-chief. Nobody can go and attack or raid no military person without the commander-in-chief approving. He approved it. So, Bamwamba, we need the truth about Kafuaya's death. There has to be, in most countries, Kafuaya's death, there has to be a coroner. There has to be an autopsy or you know, and there has to be, we have to find out, yes, we know he was shot, but it has, that coroner would, you know, has to decide, autopsy has to decide how Kafuaya died. And then there has to be an investigation how Kafuaya was killed, because that's homicide. Somebody needs to answer this. So somebody wants us to go for peace and reconciliation without dealing with those issues. No, but Bamwamba, it's only an illegitimate president who can coerce people to go into peace and reconciliation. You don't coerce people. Let people voluntarily, you know, do that. You know, Bamwamba. And the other thing I want to talk about, but Gen Z, I listened to university, they don't know about the history of Zambia. Bamwamba, we are going to wait for the court to, you know, for those people to be tried. But Bamwamba, I can assure you, there's going to be problems to try those people. At the end of the day, there's going to be the same no re-prosecute. But then people would have suffered for years. Bamwamba, but Gen Z, they don't know nothing. Bamwamba, you remember zero option. Similar. We know this script HH is doing. Black Mamba, you know. Innocent people, the Kebi Musokotwane, you need Central Committee. Because Chilova did not was scared of UNIP. Same, you know, so by intelligence, you know, whatever you lied to the president, whatever you concocted, you're gonna destroy our nation. We've seen this script. Zero option. I think by Gen Z, go to Google and Google zero option, Black Mamba, you know that this is another script. You know, I've talked about the Malawi thing, and I've talked about, you know, my president allow, you know, and then but no weapons were displayed. You know, because what they would have done if they knew that that was a militia, there were many. They shot people. They would have gone with the cameraman, the journalist. Journalists, come in. Here is a line of people we have arrested. By then, Kafuaya will be on the floor bleeding. I'm sorry to say that. And then they would say, these are the arms to Asanga Munganda. And show them to the whole world. They never did that, which is very disappointing, Bamwamba, which is unbelievable. You know, Bamwamba, HH is unpredictable. You know, you cannot go and tell the president that we don't want militias to rule our country. Why? Mandela was treated as a rebel. He couldn't go into America. He couldn't go anywhere. What you are calling militia, Mandela was called a militia by the South African government.
A terrorist.
But he came from prison and he became a president. You know, so, and by president, you cannot be a prosecutor, you cannot be a judge. Stop talking about the militia issue. Let the law, you are the one who are president. The reason why we voted you into, you promised us rule of law. You promised us accountability. You promised us transparency. But president, was Mopani transparent? Was Mopani done in an accountable and responsible manner? No. You single-sourced Mopani. You single-sourced Rothschild. Even when Rothschild had selected 2 bidders Wakateka, you still went and single-sourced. In the Zambian law, single-sourcing is illegal. But in Wakateka, the one who is supposed to be the custodian of the law, the one who's supposed to fight corruption, because Wakateka, I'm not saying there was corruption, but Wakateka, where there is no accountability, where there is no transparency, there is corruption. There is likely going to be corruption. Where there is no free and fair elections, where there is no impartiality, where there is no autonomous ECZ, there is likely going to be rigging. I'm not saying you rig. Let the court prove it. You know. So, Bamwamba, let us not be intimidated. You know, that the world needs to see that petition. If they go there and they want to stop them, the world will see. Cameras have to be there. But President, stop intimidating people. Stop, intimidating radio stations. You know, we are a democratic nation. We fought for this by President, in 1991. Don't destroy our democracy.
Thank you.
President, I was so shocked. I heard him telling the students, if you form a party now, we need to cross them. That was the plan by President. But President Vesu is so predictable. So, Bamwamba, we need to pray. I always pray for our nation. We don't want anything bad to happen to our nation. Some of us, we've lived abroad for a long time, but I'm still Zambian. I only have one Zambia, Bamwamba. Bamwamba, me, I've refused to become a citizen of any nation. I'm a permanent resident in the UK. I qualify to be a citizen, but I refuse because God only gave me one citizenship, Zambia. And we have to protect that Zambia. I rest my case, Bamwamba.
Thank you very much. Cora, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Thank you, Bamwamba. Ninebo. Hello?
Mkwai.
Hello, Miss Mkwai Bamwamba. Yeah, thank you so much. I would like to thank Tata Fumafo. Yeah, is an inspiration. I hope many people could do think like him. Yes. But I want to thank my brother who called from England, who was talking about women. Chintu chimoba mwambecho mkuma ilapo dionse. Ukweba tufwe bana mayo, nifwe tu mfuwa bukadi. To this day, Bamwamba, to Lela, na tukwata ba mama Esther, she's crying. Na tukwata bamkaba ba honorable Beswa baba fuire, she's crying. Na tukwata ba Makebi, na ba Mundubile, na ba Bekata, aba bakashi na bana. So ichi konko chikuli fwe bana mayo. Bamaya balirire sana bonse tu is a freedom fighter and she felt it very much. Now I'm appealing to all the women. Bonse banamayo Mzambia. Veni mama chikamoneka mwaishive. Veni nga mama lenshina. Imeni. Mufwale fiefitenge okumuifise. Mufwale na bra. Imeni, let's support. Ifwe tuchula. Erwa chichwecho ndefu ayo kulacha kwa tinechalo chumfwe. As long as we are not born of a woman, take the situation in your hands. Imwe bonse, more especially bakateka we are born of a woman. This is one thing you should know. So namayo bonsenga mulengu mfana papata. Imeni. Let's support. Bantu ifo tule chula. Tapina bandu pona pera wamonda. Thank you very much.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
No, Matthew. Echonde kwa kulanda kuma fellow Zambians chakweva ati bangu ufiche nishinale kula challenge understand ama politics of yaba, but I've come to understand kweva ati ichalo chaba mumino chesu ngati waikalazi na Bible irarando kwa takano akesadike nishina wisa na destiny yobe mufire mwa isuro tunwa twenu ngana wanisa tunwa twenu boss muna Zambians ukulanda ukweba ati kudi dictatorship nani kan dictator nani kan HH nishi icharota pale ko chileyo because as a president afira amfukulira kwa abantu bakwe nomba chiringa videfu yakuba kule nganda bamwamba kule nganda tatubalira na mabroka ya number 6 tubalira punch on the ground, and then the foundation has to be strong in a way that even ngando nalakula yalaba strong. Why nalantirejo then nani kane nishiba ingire muri nani kane for him to become a president. He wanted to become a president. He never thought about the foundation that he had laid. It was a weak foundation, and the evil one, he called himself Barry, but in the actual sense, he's not Barry. Now I'm Barry. He's not Barry. He bully. He keeps on bullying abantu. Why? Still bullying abantu. So that they should not open their mouth and speak, because whenever they try to talk, then akula go away fire. That already somebody wa mtoto kwa fire. Info here alinkalipa. Na alishwa tewa blue bands, but the pain that I feel. Ya kweba tina ngandela ndasundo fone miso shide fuma mumeso. Te blue one, but as long as Zambia to advocate independence in 1964. That to the folk what we are to take and we should be intimidated by him. No. Let the petition go through. And we will keep on praying. Zambia a child of Jesus. Shakwata Zambia, and I'll keep on talking. I want the world to hear my voice and to cry. I'm crying to all Zambians. Banamayo Vashitata. Bonse. Tatoa kwata Zambia indi. Zambia to kwata Nidia indi. And therefore, let's protect the Mundubile with Ama Bopeas we are really. No to put Tine Akwebas very intimidated. No. Mwalikwata makaya kumini na pama kanoku pepa. And then Gaka 01 Indo. Let's pray about it. Let's use Psalm 01, Psalm 009, verse 1 to 31. Yakudidi lokweba tu. Ina nikane chonse chabo because na tuishiba kuno kweba Mundubile bali win. But feature letting gidi defia kwa tina nikane. It doesn't amana nikane ama rights in his own hands. No. HH ta kwa ta mafundi yakweba akula sitana nikane no. We are a dictatorship. A Christian nation that we know. Not whereby we got it to their fans. Buganama, imeni. Info yabana nikane yaba mtoto kwa fwana ingari. Tatuishi na wanda wale behind the bars. Aba fuide. Miropa shasha abantu wale dida. Shidi pamutu kwa na nikane kwa HH. What kind of a president is he that he can not hear abantu wale lando? What kind of a president are you? Baka in the Gamlefo, but you taking up your man and Ganama power in your own hands. Because I've been about to be killed about Pan and Pachipo. About to be in Gabasa local by me for respect it. Respect it. Because if a white today stand and can trail and what petition should go on is because We know we have put more effort. It's our votes, and we are there to protect our votes. And then no one can let and okay, but how we want to even in every banana can you UK. If you could yes, Vala Portovala Statani, but you don't know. Now we get a lot of community. Amarusi is here of Zambia, and therefore, to get to Isulaka Nunokulan, the Zambia, let's stand firm and strong to support Mundubile. After the justice has to prevail, not to be sallow to know, Gamaitalo to Nataparakumalayo. And then you have to be very intimidated. It's better once in Gabala. Otherwise, it's too much. We are tired.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Let's take those calls. There are so many calls. Let's hear from you. Let's hear from you. Thank you. Thank you.
Problem then. I don't want people confronting me like this, because where I grew up, we fear nothing. When you confront me, you're creating a problem then. I don't want people confronting me like this.
Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Alicia Mwamba, inenewa anonymous kukiitwe.
Va anonymous landeni po.
Awe va Mwamba kwene fide chitika mchalo chesu tafiweme. Elo fie leto bulanda. Inende bukishelo nale kula. Tuale sambirira mushtasha unipi bati nishturi kwaba iche tuale umfwa. Tuale umfwa kwale bavota education. Elo tuale sambirira kuma primary schools nde bukisha bwino tuale sambirira na social studies. Tuale shibyo kwaba constitution chabefi. Ififi abefi. Nomba inonshitaba mwambe file chitika awe file balanda life is spiritual. Bantu ifile chitika muno file balandira kweba Zambia is a Christian nation. Apapena ninsu mino kweba chichetekero cha mwina Kristu mwina Zambia uli wonse na chiva tested. Apa epo tufile tuwaimini no kwampana pamo ukuikatana ndelanda kubena Zambia bonse abalengu mfwa ukweba tiseni tuime apasweka iseni tuikatane tupepe ala mwali ba makamu ipepo bantu ififile chitoyuka teko ulipo fie natafiweme ndesubira nelyo aleisa alishive alikwete plani ngafilie chipingo chilanda muli John 10:10. The devil comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Ena alikweti amapulani. Elo tulepe pokobati ne fine fya kuipaya abantu. Tafiweme kaleta twaishive ifoku kula kwesu nangu kwa chitike imfwa yali yashika batinga mwamona ino shtefo tuikere Mzambia nangu ifafine ba umfo kwebati ba mtoto kafwa ya bali bashuta may he so rest in peace bambi bale panga na ma jokes na pa social media na tukwata ma leaders aba lefiro kuchita inspire the coming generation ndeto tela na chumfa kuli batata bwa bachitumo kufuma ku England na balanda mashuwi ayashika nisha fie yachipwa na tukwata ma leaders abaleto tafie chikulu kutota mlandu wakulia na tukwata ma spiritual leaders na bafuma mkukonkalesa mlandu wa ma brown envelopes mukukana ishibokwe bati bali ni attack maybe they were speaking against the kingdom of the devil Mwamba mulebo mbenchi twaisuma twali elonde koselesha bonse kuntu muri iseni tutwalirire Zambia chalo Yesu elo Zambia lesali shire walandira it's a beacon of peace Zambia yali kwati chimuti chale pele chinterelwe kuma kubantu bali mbutushi kufyalwe fyale kana ma neighboring countries nomba Zambia ngayala befi ngayaba pamulilo ifo ala butukira kwisa pant from the foundations of the earth God saw Zambia as a Christian nation as a beacon of peace and I believe the enemy alefu afyo kulete chimfulunganyo pati takwanishe bantu ichalembwa mumaboko aya kwalesa tachaka futiwe awe ba Mwamba bombeni po bwino twatotera.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello. Dadi Misukware Simon.
Yes, Simon.
But everyone the for the coffee. For the first time, my election, so I reached nani kane, Pafiwari, so nani kane. If you reached na nani kane, nefiari, kunani kane, fiari kunumo. Fiabusana kona ama election. Whereby ama election alikuwa tayari free and fair. Full of intimidation. For the first time, polling station where they intimidate our man and can observers, man and can whatever is the running. Our is a monitor my election. Now I understand that one of videos where is in the man and can where is number borrowed strip. At free and fair election. Why very can you that? Mundubile achite petition in my election. Nichi very kanisha. Afiro uchite petition. Umuntu ngatautena ngatauri successful. Nefinto via rechitika. Ufiro achite petition. Ushatwara ikalira ikalira muri ine style yaso. Chali iranga fenoko iranga kutati ama election ndari free and fair. Abantu bari decide ukuchitana change. Takuwa minister ero yaso itwala ikalira mwe. Even nangula kumatero kulya. Uri Alex Sagara uri ndatikanga ndiro paja. Ali pona kulya kona nikane ko. Ali pona kulya. But vamusondo dati upitire mana nikane upitire nani as MP. Patrick ewapitire kuti. Manje vetwara ikalira fe nya diosha ina sha. Even nangwale vana inde ishima. Rungu era ikombando. Tare kanyama petition udati wachire petition. Vari sta petition wavaka inde ishima. Nangurungu lero alipada pana ngero wavachina in prison. Na wena ngawari wera tina yota wa iminine. Ushenga wali wako president lero. Wale kafia tuwachite petition. Na totera mkwa.
Thank you very much. I think we have to come to an end. We have an evening program. Let's meet this evening.
Many of us in this region proud that you still have a judiciary and armed members of the judiciary that are able to do what is right for their people. We must be proud of that. We understand they went through temptations, a lot of temptations, and they withstood these temptations. Money, other things we hear were thrown at them. But they understood why they are on the Constitutional Court. Because the judiciary, the courts must be the place of last recourse, where we go to seek justice. Injustices are done every day in our elections. We know it here in Zambia. 2015, 2016, we know it. But in 2016, our matter was not even heard. Yet the Bill of Rights is clear that if a citizen is aggrieved about anything, they have a right to go to court. And any court of competent jurisdiction has an obligation to hear them. It didn't happen in this country. It has happened in Malawi. We're so proud of that Malawi Constitutional Court bench. I hope we can all learn something from that ruling, that you cannot continue cheating the people, the very people that gave you an opportunity to save them, especially in those roles. So congratulations to the opposition in Malawi, and one other thing we learned from Malawi is that they came together. the opposition came together. Here we have some oppositions that are surrogates of the ruling party who are used to abuse fellow opposition. But there, Dr. Chakwera, Dr. Silas Chidima, and others came together for a joint petition to save the people of Malawi. It's another lesson that we Zambians must learn. But more important, it's a Malawian citizen, the Malawian voter, who did not allow their vote to be manipulated. When their vote was manipulated, they showed it. They went in the streets to express their displeasure on how somebody had stolen their votes. They did it for months on end. It encouraged the judiciary. So you can see the point here. The battle, the fight must be fought from different angles. And the citizens have
in my view, the most difficult decision Mr. Ichilema can make is to press on with something that he knows is wrong. Okay? That's the most difficult decision. The easiest decision is to exit and give it to the rightful owner that won the elections. I think that's the most decent thing to do. Okay? There's honor in doing the right thing for every leader. Yes, we might want it, but the citizens themselves said no. They refused. And you can't push it down their throats to accept you and to accept that you won the election when plainly you did not win the election. Africa today is beset with instability because leaders fail to accept that when you go into an election, two things happen. You either win the election or you lose the election. And in this case, Ichilema lost the election, without no doubt. And to respond with such disproportionate force is unfortunate. You don't attack the people from whom you have stolen. Surely, people should have a sense of shame. You know you have not won, and then you pursue the victors with such unimaginable disproportionate force. Okay? So I think that a sense of shame is not a bad moral compass for any self-respecting leader. Okay? Literally, it is now a crime scene. Okay? So those who are coming to participate or to support Mr. Ichilema being sworn in are literally coming to a crime scene, an electoral crime scene, where the man did not win, but instead followed the people gun-toting and shooting down people, innocent citizens, innocent souls. So I think that he has an opportunity to reflect through. He has an opportunity to reflect through and rescind his mind and hand it over to the one that won the election. As simple as all that. And go a statesman. Thank you.
District have rejected the presidential election results announced by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, which declared United Party for National Development UPND candidate Hakainde Hichilema the winner of this year's presidential election. Mr. Hichilema, who scooped the polls against 13 other contenders, defeated his closest rival Brian Mundubile of the NRP-UP. The traders have alleged that the presidential election was neither free, fair, nor transparent. Speaking to Sun FM TV News, the traders expressed dissatisfaction with the outcome, arguing that they are still awaiting the announcement of what they described as the rightful winner of the presidential election.
Kantu ife muno mundola nanga kopa belt tuarefu a Mundubile no mama vote fo ya reisa nefo ya ringiro okuba tefyo tefo tuwa vote refire ko bapendera ama vote so ya ama vote kupenda bafire ba nani kane aba ba ECZ bakawekeshepo yana mavoti bakapende bwino
ubuteko botorepitamu tachetekeremo ubuteko tebuteko twarefwaya ubuteko twarefwaya bwapera mpi
kwa Mundubile by this time wine amavoti abatpere twaliyakana evatwakana
chitika tatifiweme muchalo nishi chaverefi ife turerorera abapulani Mundubile ebapitire ebakateka turerorera tatusefesheno kusefya
ndorora evo twavotere amavoti yesu ari kwisi bantu takwaba kumpango kwingekala abantu 6,000 ukuchira mundora nishi pantu amafamu konsoko na ikalai pano paringanda pachuyo sange nganda dukonoko nombaba abantu bare bafumile kwisi